Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Savita from Maharaja Agrasen University, Baddi, Himachal Pradesh. Today we are going to talk on module Consumer Behavior Theory and Cardinal Utility Analysis under the paper Managerial Economics. After completing this module, you will be able to understand the concept of cardinal utility analysis, the law of diminishing marginal utility, law of equimarginal utility, and the concept of consumer equilibrium. The theory of consumer behavior describes how consumers buy different goods and services. Furthermore, consumer behavior also explains how a consumer allocates its income in relation to the purchase of different commodities and how price affects his or her decision. One of the theories used to explain consumer behavior is utility theory. Utility analysis. Utility analysis attempts to explain consumer behavior on the basis of satisfaction derived from the consumption of commodities. Of course, the utility derived from the consumption affects the consumer purchase and consumption decision. The concept of utility can be explained with the help of various examples. A person who is on fasting for 2 days when offered food will get utility, that is satisfaction. A kid when crying is offered twice to play also gets satisfaction. Thus, both examples referred above offers satisfaction owing to the satisfaction of needs and wants. There are two types of utility, that is total utility and marginal utility. Total utility. The term total utility means the total satisfaction derived from the consumption of all commodities, and the marginal utility may be defined as the additional utility derived from the consumption of an additional unit of a commodity. Therefore, we can say that marginal utility is the extra satisfaction gained from one more additional unit of that particular commodity. Marginal utility may also be calculated as follows. Marginal utility is equal to change in total utility divided by change in quantity consumed. Cardinal utility analysis is based on the cardinal measurement of utility, which assumes that utility is measurable and additive. This theory was developed by neoclassical economists like Marshall, Pigou, Robertson, etc. It is expressed as a quantity measure in hypothetical units which called utils. If a consumer imagines that one mango has 8 utils and an apple 4 utils, it implies that the utility of mango is twice that of an apple. Assumptions of cardinal utility analysis. First one is rational consumer. Cardinal utility analysis assumes that consumer is rational. He makes every effort to maximize his total utility under the income and price constant. While going for the purchase or consumption of goods, a consumer will act rationally to maximize his level satisfaction. Number 2, cardinal measurement of utility. The utility of each commodity is measurable and quantifiable. That is, utility is cardinal concept. The most convenient measure is money. Thus, utility can be measured quantitatively in monetary units or cardinal units. Therefore, whenever a person consumes any commodity, he can express or measure his satisfaction in cardinal terms. For example, a person having a glass of milk can say that he got 10 utils from it. Moreover, cardinal measurement of utility enables the comparison of utilities derived from two different goods. For example, a person can say that the utility he gets from the consumption of milk is twice the utility he gets from the consumption of juice. Constant marginal utility of money. The utility derived from commodities are measured in terms of money. According to Marshall, money is the measuring rod of money. So, money is a unit of measurement in cardinal approach. Marshall argues that the amount of money which a person is prepared to pay for a unit of a good rather than go without it is a measure of utility he derives from the goods. According to him, measurement of marginal utility of good in term of money is only possible if the marginal utility of money itself remain constant. Hence, marginal utility of money should be constant. Diminishing marginal utility. If a stock of commodities increases with the consumer, each additional stock or unit of the commodity gives him lesser and lesser satisfaction. Every additional intake of good will yield less utility as compared to the utility obtained from the previous unit of the good. It means utility increases at a decreasing rate. Independent utilities. It means utility obtained from one commodity is not dependent on utility obtained from other commodity. In other words, it means that the utility which a consumer derives from the consumption of that commodity is a function of the quantity of only that good. It is not affected by the consumption of other commodities. Approaches to cardinal utility analysis. The two approaches of cardinal utility analysis are as follows, that is law of diminishing marginal utility and law of equimarginal utility. Now, we will explain the law of diminishing marginal utility. The fundamental assumption of utility theory of demand is that the satisfaction that a person derives in consuming a particular product diminishes or declines as more and more of a good is consumed. In other words, as successive quantity of goods is consumed, the utility we derive diminishes. This is called the law of diminishing marginal utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility has universal applicability and applies to all goods and services. This law was first given by a German economist, H.H. Gaussen. That's why it is also known as Gaussen's first law of consumption. Utility refers to the amount of satisfaction a person gets from consumption of a certain item, and marginal utility refers to the addition made to total utility we get after consuming one more unit. And individual wants are unlimited in number, yet each individual's want is satiable. Because of this, the more we have a commodity, the less we want to have more of it. The law states that as the amount consumed of a commodity increases, the utility derived by the consumer from the additional units, that is marginal utilities, goes on decreasing. The marginal utility of a commodity diminishes as the consumer gets larger quantities of it. Marginal utility is the change in the total utility resulting from one unit change in the consumption of a commodity per unit of time. Assumptions of law of diminishing marginal utility. The law of diminishing marginal utility operates under certain specific conditions. Economists call them the assumptions of the law. These are cardinal measurement of utility. It is assumed that utility can be measured and a consumer can express his satisfaction in quantitative terms such as 1, 2, 3, etc. Money measurement of utility. It is assumed that utility is measurable in terms of money. Consumption of reasonable quantity. It is assumed that a reasonable quantity of the commodity is consumed. For example, we should compare marginal utility of glassful of water and not of spoonful. If the thirsty person is given water in a spoon, then every additional spoon will yield him more utility. So, to hold the law true, suitable and proper quantity of the commodity should be consumed. Continuous consumption. It is assumed that consumption is a continuous process. For example, if one glass of juice is consumed in the morning and another in the afternoon, then the second glass may provide equal or higher satisfaction as compared to the first one. No change in quality. Quality of the commodity consumed is assumed to be uniform. A second cup of ice cream with nuts and topping may give more satisfaction than the first one if the first ice cream was without nuts or toppings. Rational consumer. The consumer is assumed to be rational who measures, calculates and compares the utilities of different commodities and aiming at maximizing total satisfaction. MU of money remain constant. As a consumer spends money on the commodity, he is left with lesser money to spend on other commodities. In this process, the remaining money becomes dearer to the consumer and it increases MU of money for the consumer. But such an increase in MU of money is ignored as MU of a commodity has to be measured in monetary terms. It is assumed that MU of money remains constant. Fixed income and prices. It is assumed that income of the consumer and prices of the goods which the consumer wishes to purchase remain constant. Goods are divisible. It is assumed that whatever the goods are consumed, they must be divisible. If the goods are not divisible, the comparison of utility is not possible. Homogeneity. Another important assumption is that goods consumed should be homogeneous in regard to quality, size, taste, flavor, color, etc. Law of diminishing marginal utility can be explained with the help of table and diagram. As it is seen in the table, as consumer consumes more unit of ice cream, total utility in util increases while marginal utility in util decreases, and after a point it becomes negative. It can be shown with the help of diagram also. In this diagram, units of ice cream are taken on x-axis and mu on the y-axis. Mu from each successive ice cream is being represented by the points A, B, C, D and E. From the diagram, it is clear that level of satisfaction as represented by the rectangles becomes smaller and smaller with every increase in consumption of ice cream. Law of equimarginal utility. The law of equimarginal utility was presented in 19th century by Australian economist H.H. Gossin. The law of equimarginal utility is another fundamental principle of economics. This law is also known as the law of substitution or the law of maximum satisfaction. A consumer has number of wants. He tries to spend limited income on different things in such a way that marginal utility in all things is equal. When he buys several things with given money income, he equalizes marginal utilities of all such things. The consumer can get maximum utility by allocating income among commodities in such a way that last rupee spent on each item provides the same marginal utility. Assumptions of the law of equimarginal utility. There is no change in the prices of goods. Consumer has no control over the price of commodity, but the prices are given. Consumer has limited income or limited stock of a given commodity. The marginal utility of money is constant. Consumer has perfect knowledge of utility obtained from goods. Consumer is a normal person and rational, so he tries to seek maximum satisfaction. The utility is measurable in cardinal units. The consumer has more than one want to satisfy. This he can do either by purchasing the required number of commodities out of a given income or putting a given commodity to various uses to satisfy his different wants. The goods have substitutes. The law of equimarginal utility states that other things being equal, a consumer gets maximum total utility from spending his given income when he allocates his expenditure to the purchase of different goods in such a way that the marginal utilities derived from the last unit of money spent on each item of expenditure tends to be equal. That is to say that the consumer maximizes his satisfaction, which he obtains equimarginal utility from all the goods purchased at a given time. The law of equimarginal utility can be explained with the help of table and diagram. Suppose consumer has 6 rupees and that he wants to spend on apples and bananas in order to obtain maximum total utility. This table shows that consumer can spend 6 rupees in different way. First combination is rupees 1 on apple and rupees 5 on bananas. The total utility he can get is 10 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 is equal to 40. Second combination, rupees 2 on apples and rupees 4 on bananas. The total utility he can get is 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 is equal to 45. Third combination is rupees 3 on apples and rupees 3 on bananas. The total utility he can get is 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6, that is 48. Rupees 4 on banana and rupees 2 on apples. This way the total utility is 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 7 is equal to 49. And the next combination may be rupees 5 on apples and rupees 1 on bananas. The total utility he can get is 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 8 is equal to 48. Total utility for consumer is 49 utils, that is the highest obtainable with expenditure of rupees 4 on apples and rupees 2 on bananas. The same information can be used for graphical presentation of this law. As it is seen in the diagram that consumer has income of 6 rupees. He wants to spend this money on apples and bananas in such a way that there is maximum satisfaction to the consumer. Now we will discuss consumer's equilibrium. Consumer's equilibrium may be defined as the situation when a consumer derives maximum satisfaction with his limited income and doesn't want to make any change in his pattern of expenditure. Since the consumer has to pay a price for the commodity he is going to purchase, therefore he cannot consume unlimited quantity. According to the law of diminishing marginal utility, utility derived from each additional unit goes on falling and his income is also limited. Therefore, a rational consumer will try to have the consumption pattern which offers him maximum satisfaction with limited income. The position that achieves is called the position of equilibrium. At the point of equilibrium, consumer doesn't intend to make any change in it. There are various assumptions to explain the concept of consumer equilibrium. These are cardinal measurement of utility. It is assumed that utility can be measured and a consumer can express his satisfaction in quantitative terms such as 1, 2, 3, etc. Monetary measurement of utility. It is assumed that utility is measurable in monetary terms. Next one is consumption of reasonable quantity. It is assumed that a reasonable quantity of the commodity is consumed. Continuous consumption. It is assumed that consumption is a continuous process. No change in quality. Quality of the commodity consumed is assumed to be uniform. Rational consumer. The consumer is assumed to be rational who measures, calculates and compares the utilities of different commodities and aims at maximizing total satisfaction. Marginal utility of money remain constant. As a consumer spends money on the commodity, he is left with lesser money to spend on other commodities. In this process, the remaining money becomes dearer to the consumer and it increases MU of money for the consumer. But Such an increase in marginal utility of money is ignored as MU of a commodity has to be measured in monetary terms. It is assumed that MU of money remains constant. Fixed income and prices. It is assumed that income of the consumer and prices of the goods which the consumer wishes to purchase remain constant. Goods are divisible. It is assumed that whatever the goods are consumed, they must be divisible. If the goods are not divisible, the comparison of utility is not possible. The concept of consumer equilibrium can be explained under two sets of situations. Consumer spend all his income on a single commodity, and the second one, consumer spend all his income on two commodities in case of single commodity. In case of single commodity, the law of diminishing marginal utility can be used to explain position of consumer's equilibrium. Therefore, all the assumptions of law of diminishing marginal utility are taken as assumptions of consumer's equilibrium in case of single commodity. A consumer purchasing a single commodity will be at equilibrium when he is buying such a quantity of that commodity which gives him maximum satisfaction. The number of units to be consumed of the given commodity by a consumer depends upon two factors. One is price of the given commodity, and the second one is expected utility from the successive unit. For the determination of the equilibrium point, consumer often compares the price of the given commodity with its utility derived from it. Being a rational consumer, he will be at equilibrium when marginal utility is equal to price paid for the commodity. Conditions of consumer equilibrium. In case of single commodity, consumption by a consumer, say A, will be at equilibrium when marginal utility of A is equal to price of A paid for the commodity. That is, marginal utility of A is equal to price. There are two possibilities in this regard. If marginal utility of A is greater than price of A, this is not the situation of consumer equilibrium as utility is greater than price. Therefore, consumer will buy more until marginal utility becomes equal to the price, and then consumer gets the maximum benefit and will be in equilibrium. If when marginal utility of A is less than of price of A, then this is also not the situation of equilibrium, and to achieve the same, a consumer will reduce consumption of commodity to raise his total satisfaction till marginal utility becomes equal to price, as it is seen in the table. It can be explained with the help of diagram also. In figure 2.3, marginal utility of A curve slopes downward, indicating that the marginal utility falls with the successive consumption of commodity due to operation of law of diminishing marginal utility. Price of A is a horizontal and state price line as price is fixed at rupees 10 per unit. From the above table and diagram, it is clear that the consumer will be at equilibrium at point E when he consumes 3 units of commodity, because at point E, marginal utility of A is equal to price of A. A consumer will not consume 4 units of A as MU of rupees 4 is less than price paid, and B similarly he will not consume 2 units of A as MU of rupees 16 is more than the price paid. Therefore, we can say that when a consumer goes for the consumption of single commodity like A, he will be at equilibrium when marginal utility from the commodity is equal to its price. In case of 2 commodities, when a consumer consumes more than one commodity, then law of equimarginal utility will help in optimum allocation of income among 2 commodities to achieve equilibrium. Suppose consumer consumes 2 goods A and B. Since consumer goes for the purchase of 2 commodities, therefore has to allocate his money income between the 2 goods to attain the equilibrium position. As per the law of equimarginal utility, a consumer will maximize his satisfaction when ratios of MU of 2 commodities and their respective prices are equal. Condition of consumer equilibrium. In case of 2 commodities, consumption by a consumer, says A and B, will be at equilibrium when marginal utility of last rupee spent on each commodity is same. That is, marginal utility of A divided by price of A is equal to marginal utility of B divided by price of B. There are 2 possibilities in this regard. If marginal utility of A upon price of A is greater than marginal utility of B over price of B, this shows that the consumer gets more marginal utility per rupee from goods A as compared to B. Therefore, he will buy more of B and less of A. This will result in fall in marginal utility of A and rise in marginal utility of B. The consumer will continue to buy more of that till marginal utility of A divided by price of A is equal to marginal utility of B upon price of B. If marginal utility of A upon price of A is less than marginal utility of B upon price of B, the consumer gets more marginal utility per rupee in case of good B as compared to A. Therefore, he will buy more of B and less of A. This will result in marginal utility of B and rise in marginal utility of A. The consumer will continue to buy more of B till marginal utility of A upon price of A is equal to marginal utility of B upon price of B. Therefore, as stated above, marginal utility of A upon price of A is equal to marginal utility of B upon price of B is a necessary condition for equilibrium. Marginal utility falls with the increase in consumption. The second condition states that marginal utility of a commodity must fall as more of commodity is consumed. With the increase in consumption, if marginal utility doesn't fall, then the consumer buy only one good, which is unrealistic, and consumer will never reach the state of equilibrium. In this table, we have shown the marginal utility which the consumer derives from various units of A and B. From the above table, it is clear that the consumer will spend the first rupee on commodity A, which will provide him utility of 20 utils. The second rupee will be spent on commodity B to get utility of 16 utils. To reach the equilibrium, consumer will buy that combination of both the goods when marginal utility of last rupee spent on each commodity is same and marginal utility falls as consumption increases. It happens when consumer buys 3 units of A and 2 units of B because marginal utility from first rupee, that is fifth rupee, spent on commodity B gives the same satisfaction of 12 utils as given by last rupee, that is fourth rupee, spent on commodity A. And marginal utility of each commodity falls as consumption increases. The total satisfaction of 74 utils will be obtained when consumer buys 3 units of A and 2 units of B. It reflects the state of consumer's equilibrium. If the consumer spends his income in any other order, total satisfaction will be less than 74 utils. Criticism of cardinal utility analysis. Criticism of cardinal utility analysis is as follows. Cardinal measurement of utility is not possible. Marginal utility of money is not constant. There is no independent commodity. Too many assumptions are there. Measurement of marginal utility in case of indivisible commodities is not possible. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. Utility is the want satisfying power of property of a commodity. It is of two types, that is total utility and marginal utility. Cardinal utility analysis has developed two universal laws which occupies significant place in economic theory. These laws are laws of diminishing marginal utility and law of equimarginal utility. A consumer is said to be in equilibrium when he derives maximum satisfaction with his limited income and doesn't want to make any change in his pattern of expenditure. Consumer equilibrium can be studied under the heading one commodity case with one use and one commodity with several uses and many commodities. Thank you.